Hello, Psychic Andrew Warnes. A couple of months ago, I started with a blog, and this is the second one of the series. When I started that blog, I came up with a couple of questions to ask. Well, when you're down the street, you might ask a couple of questions. The first one was you might ask someone, how's your day? And that person would likely respond straight away, good, must say good, poor, whatever. The second question I asked is, which is more of a responsive question. I said to ask the question, what's great about your day? To which that person would have to think about it. It wouldn't be an automatic response. It's an interesting concept actually. And that person might say, what's great about, I'm meeting you. Or the wonderful breakfast I had this morning. Something like that. Well, there is a third question which people, unless you're in a very, very deep, meaningful conversation with someone, won't answer. They'll fudge over the top. And that's the question, how are you going today? They just won't answer it. How are you going today? How are you going this week? What's your main problems? What are your challenges? They just won't answer it because they've tried to fix it themselves before, and it hasn't actually worked. So they don't want to talk about it. We can all change, but they just don't want to talk about it. So that's all right. And what that means is they have more emotional crap going on and it's bubbling just below the surface, and that's all right. That's their thing. We're not going to change them necessarily, but we can change ourselves. So there's probably another way you could ask that question. You could probably ask, what are you going through? And that person would likely come up with things like, I'm cranky, I'm in emotional pain, I'm frustrated, and I'm frustrated with my partner, my boss, my boyfriend, my sibling, my friend. And that person, you probably think, oh, that's all internal stuff, that person, but that person's probably making it external. So I gave you the three questions. Knowing the way I'm feeling, what's great about that? When is now a great time for me to move out of the way I'm feeling? And what is the very first thing I can do to help myself with that? Now, I gave you those three questions. You can search on my website and on my blogs, and they're there. What I want to do is give you a story or two behind that, especially these questions. Years ago in New South Wales, I had a friend, German friend actually, who was working in Wagga of all places, and she had an elderly friend who helped her out as a trainer and mentor in the Civic Theatre in Wagga where she worked. Okay, and she got on really, really well with this person, and he was elderly and he died. Meanwhile, she had things to keep going. She had to keep the show running. As I say in show business, the show must go on. The poor thing was really quite distraught. She couldn't live. She really couldn't, because she just really, really was in a space. So she rang me up one day and said, help, 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 help. So I did. I gave her these three questions. And in the way I'm feeling, what's great about that? When is now a great time for me to move out of the way I'm feeling? And what is the first thing I can do to help myself with that? Now, I went through these things, and it was a very interesting thing. The overall pain that she was going through was still there. It made no difference to her. It was still there, but she'd hop in the car, she would go to work. She lived out of town actually. She'd go to work, do her thing, go for all the rehearsals and that sort of stuff, and do the actual performance, produce the actual performance. These questions got her through it, and then slowly as time went on, she got over the grief. Now, what I want to do is go through these questions. Whatever happened to make me feel this way, what's great about it? You're in such a state when something's going on. If I ask you that, you'll say, nothing at all. I get that. The thing is, it's just a peak. You're in that state now. You might be in it next week. You might be in it next month. I guarantee you won't be in it next week, because there'll be something else there. Now, if it's grieving a death or a divorce or something, different thing. It goes on, but there are layers to us. you're actually deceiving yourself when you're in that space. So, what you'd likely say if I asked you that, no one has ever been where I'm in real pain. Yeah, I know you are. You're all in real pain. The thing is, what you're actually not getting is you're getting a payoff from that. People are going, oh, you poor thing, you darling, or give us a big hug, or all that sort of stuff. And you're getting a payoff from telling the story. So, and that story is actually building up inside you, and that's all right. So if we do ask that, what's great about it? You think about your life, your family, your health, maybe fantastic health, last night's sleep, that dream, the big hug that someone gave you. Maybe it's a partner gave you a big hug, that cool glass of water, the sound of a baby's laughter. It's so many different things, small things that can make us feel good. Okay, so that's what can be great. Not big things necessarily, lots and lots of small things in our day. Okay, so when you're stuck in your negativeness, it's hard to get those lovely little things out, like smelling a rose. I smelled a rose this morning. It's delightful. And it was really quite lovely, or that first sip of coffee, which I also did this morning, and we go, it's good stuff. Now, so number 2 is, when would now be a great time for me to move out of the way I'm feeling? And as I said, this is number 2. What does now mean? Now means I'm sitting in the now. I'm talking to you now, N-O-W now. Okay, you can stay in that negative, emotional, drama glue place for as long as you like. I don't care. The people around you do. They're sick of it. And they don't want it anymore. They want you to be happy, or because you're taking them down. Okay? You can stay in that down emotional drama glue feeling for as long as you like. No one really cares. Or you can use question 1, the first one, to reframe your thinking. Okay, the reframing is good, and you pep up, there's something there. And immediately afterwards, you go into the second question of the now. You'll go, I can change this. I can use the now to change it. Someone came to me a few days ago, a few weeks ago now, and her boyfriend, partner, 14 months, sent her a text, it's off. 3 days later, she's still crying. 5 days later, she comes to see me. After an hour of tears, about an hour of tears, she's almost dried up, what she wants is for this guy to suffer because he did her wrong. Okay. Now, she can have that feeling. I can't get her out of that feeling. If she wants to do something to someone else, she can do that. I can't stop that. That's her thing. What I can do, though, is to get her to operate on a daily basis. So I went through these questions, and she found she could. Her grieving will continue about this stuff. She still wants to get back at this guy. She wants to know what he's doing, whether he's going out with other women, all that sort of stuff. She can do that as much as she wants. She's still not out of it, but she still needs to operate, just like my friend from Wagga did. Okay, so this is what this is about. So this question, you could have 10 seconds, or you can have 10 hours, or 2 days, or 6 days, or 6 months. You can be in that drama clue place. I don't actually mind. Okay. Now there is a third question we know, and what would be the first thing I could do to help myself with that? So there we are, that 10 seconds, 2 hours, 2 days, things going along, and we need to jump from one to the other because we need to go through the reframing, and then we need to go through the now thing, the timing thing, the now thing, and then pretty much straight away we need the action plan, and the action plan is really important. So years ago, I had one of these conversations with my oldest daughter. She'd been through a whole lot of stuff. She'd split from a partner and all this sort of stuff. And she was having quite a few challenges with her ex. As all, when split ups happen, there's always that sort of stuff. And she went like this, you know. And I asked her, Petra, what is the first thing you can do to help yourself with that? And I came up with a few examples, and she said, you know, it's a beautiful day here. The sun's shining through. I've got a book here. I'm just going to sit here, maybe even doze off and read my book. Good for her. That's all she needed. She still uses that herself. So the first thing is the simple thing. Go for a walk, ring a friend, call up a friend, hop onto social media, go to a movie, call up a friend, let's have a coffee, go for a walk, big long walk, go for a walk around the block, whatever, make some phone calls. You know, it doesn't matter whatever it is, it's always a first thing. And that gets us out of it. It might not be one thing that does it. It might be take 6 things, but you need to get out of that cycle. Are you getting it? So, these are the 3 ask these questions, dig into yourself things, you know, and these will get you out of your fog. Okay? Till the next time, you have a great day.